Hi there, my name is Renaud. I currently work at Zapier as a platform engineer. And this is a small presentation I did on mindfulness and minimalism, which are two things I'm very passionate about. Um, I did this presentation initially for Zapier to introduce myself to everyone. But I got really good feedback, and so I decided that maybe it's worth putting it out there for everyone else to see. So the first thing about mindfulness and minimalism, we can start with the first point. What is mindfulness? And if we go through Googling a little bit, you can get a very nice definition. I like this definition. Mindfulness being the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. This defines it really well. So mindfulness is really being aware of what is happening. So this definition is really good. How do you practice mindfulness? So there's basically these are the three ways I practice mindfulness. The first one, meditation. I think it's been around for quite a long time, but in the past few years it's been getting a lot more attention. And a few things I learned about meditation that I think can be very helpful for everyone out there is, first of all, there's no wrong way of meditating. I mean, if you just stop and notice what's happening to you right now, how are you feeling? How is your body reacting? Even the things around you, if you have pets, if you have loved ones, what is really happening? Even simple things like the weather, the idea of stopping to smell the roses or flowers. That is a little bit of meditation. So there's no wrong way of doing it, and I really would advise you to start with just 30 seconds. It's really hard to say you don't have 30 seconds, so just do that, and for 30 seconds just stop and focus on your breathing, for example. That's a very good way to start meditating. Just focus on your breathing. Again, there's no wrong way of doing it. There's even helpful apps if you want. Just try it out. Google that around. A couple of other things important. One of the things I struggled with was, when you just stop. For the first few seconds, it's really easy to focus on something like your breath. But after a few seconds, you start, having a lot of thoughts coming into you. If you're anything like me, I just start thinking about a lot of different things, the things you still have to do for the day, or the important things, maybe you forgot about something. And it's really, you shouldn't focus on trying to push those thoughts away, because then you just switch your focus on, and it's really hard to be in the present moment. So don't push the thoughts away. Let them come, acknowledge them, see them for what they are. They're just thoughts, they're coming through, and then gently go back to focusing on your breathing. So I read in a few places about visualizing the thoughts as clouds passing by. I don't personally do that, but it's a very interesting way of seeing it. So gratitude. So I do this. I practice gratitude in the morning when I wake up, and I have a trigger when showering. And so, one way of thinking about gratitude or thinking about practicing gratitude is, for example, imagine you're taking a shower for the first time in days. It's like it's your first shower in weeks or months. I mean, think about, this is really an exercise in imagination a little bit, but think about how great you'd feel about how that water would just feel great, going through your body, your head, your skin. Just and experience that, while you're thinking of this, experience that, try to feel that, and feel great about those things, feel good about them, feel grateful about them. See how great those small things are. There's a very good article about an essay about something like this from Leo Babauta. from Zen habits. And something, it might sound a little bit ridiculous, but something like peeing, you know, you don't think about peeing, you have to do it, you know, you go, you do it, and you're done. But even something as small like that, you can really stop while you're doing it, thinking about it, and appreciate, be grateful about how good it is, because it is good. You know, your body feels good after you're doing it, even while you're doing it. So a good way of practicing mindfulness is practicing gratitude, being aware, like the food you eat, your kids, if you have kids, pets demanding attention, be with them in the moment, appreciate them for what they are, and be grateful for that. It really helps. And lastly, we have acceptance, which is something personally, it's one of the most difficult, or it's still being one of the most difficult for me to deal with, or for me to feel that I'm getting very good at it, because I'm really not. I'm better than I was, but it's I feel like there's still a big path to go through. So acceptance is really just thinking about how you cannot control outcomes. You can, however, control your actions. You know, if you're frustrated, it's because your expectations aren't matching the reality. And it's hard, but you have to set your expectations on your actions, not the outcomes of your actions. And so you have to ask yourself questions like, are your expectations reasonable? You know, do you want someone to behave as you want? That's not reasonable. It's out of your control, but we do that all the time. We get frustrated, we suffer over those things. And so one thing I tried to work on, and again, this is part of mindfulness, part of meditation, and being aware of the present moment. Every time I start to feel frustrated, you know, I sometimes catch myself starting to feel frustrated, or feeling frustrated even after I felt frustrated sometimes. Just stop and think about, you know, why did I feel like that? And first of all, analyze how you're really feeling. Like, notice that, you know, sometimes your hands are like you're just clenching your hands. Your heart, you feel the pulse racing. You know, there's things like that. And then rationalize a little bit. You know, what happened? Why did you feel like that? Where is your expectation being set, if it's right or wrong? And constantly adjust your expectations. You know, understand how they're not reasonable, how others have expectations about yourself too. So this is not about saying, you know, to worry about what other people think of you. It's just that feel empathy about how you are feeling. Others feel that way as well. If you don't understand how others is feeling, understand that you've been there as well. So yeah, you can talk about the expectations and set the expectations, accept the moment and others as they are. So then we can talk a little bit about the benefits of mindfulness. You know, why would you want to practice it? Why are you even interested in it? And so many studies have proven, or have shown, that it improves mental and physical health. You know, it actually became hip. You know, mindfulness became hip after a study showed monks being able to control their brain waves, their emotions, by meditating. So you are happier, you feel more content. And so as a result of mindfulness, as a result of improving your mental and physical health, you also feel happier. You're more embracing and accepting of what the reality is today, and you feel better. Improved focus. You get better at focus. This is something that I've always liked and appreciated, the power of focus. And so it was really good for me to see how I improved on that. And I used to feel like I was pretty good at focusing, but still there was a lot of room to improve. There still is a lot of room to improve. And you get better at enjoying things like, you know, the sea breeze when you're by the beach. You can just engrave those feelings, those emotions in your brain much better and recall them as well. And so you also, with all of this, you also feel less stress. You know, when you accept the things you cannot change as what they are, you become less frustrated about them. if you don't get as frustrated, you just get you don't get as stressed. So yeah, on to minimalism. What is minimalism? So I didn't find a good definition on Google for this, but I do have a very good definition I like. What is minimalism for me? It's only having the essential. And obviously, you know, this is a very short definition, but that's how I feel it is when you think about it on a broad level. And so how do you practice minimalism? You can start by selling and giving away non-essential possessions. You know, I give away a lot of kitchenware. We had a lot of stuff. Most of it we didn't use. You know, we had a lot of Tupperware, things like that. You know, we reduced to only what we really use, which is, you know, it was like less than a quarter of the total we had. And that's fine. You know, a lot of people have this, and we donated it. We actually didn't sell the kitchenware. We donated it to institutions that actually needed it. So things like even glasses, you know, we reduced to just the number. We reduced to 8. All of them get used. You know, there's no good, bad glasses. And there's not been a situation, you know, where, you know, oh, we need a glass, we don't have it, just because we don't usually have that many people coming over, and it just works better. You have less stuff in the kitchen, you know, in the closet. You have less stuff there, and so it's really easy to just go pick stuff, even, you know, clean it up, put it back. It's really those things become easier to do when you have less non-essential possessions. So only keep things that add value to your life. So personally, I've always been very known about playing guitar and music. I recorded music when in my teen years and things like that. And so about 2 years ago, I sold 3 electric guitars, including my first electric guitar. The first one I gave a concert with, and a 7-string guitar, which I've wanted since I was like 12. I also sold an electric keyboard, and another an acoustic guitar. So I was attached to these things. I realized I only kept them because out of emotional attachment. And it was really hard for me to let go of them, but they were there, and I realized they were causing me suffering because I didn't play them very often. I only played the acoustic guitar, which actually kept one. It's the only guitar I kept, one acoustic guitar. So I had 5 guitars in total. And I only kept those things out of emotional attachment to, you know, the situations I've been with them and things like that. And partly because I felt like they defined me in a way. You know, they were the core in the living room, and, you know, people would see it. People, oh, that's cool, really cool. But the reality was, I wasn't playing them very often. I only played the acoustic guitar every now and then, and so there was no reason for me to like keep those things in for myself. It was kind of selfish because other people could be getting value out of them, and I wasn't. Now, and then they were actually causing me suffering because, you know, every now and then I would think like, you know, I really should play those things because they're just there. They're not being played. So I sold them, you know, now they have a new life with kids learning music in them, families getting together, playing them. It was really good. It was really a very enlightening experience, which leads into use things, love people. So don't do it the other way around. The idea of this is, you know, for example, me and my girlfriend, we gave away a lot of clothes and shoes we didn't use, and a lot of those we loved, you know, and that pair of shoes or that t-shirt, you know, you loved it, you have some memories with it, but they're completely, you know, you can't really use them now. They're just taking space, and physical space and mental space. And so you have to realize the feelings, the emotions, and the memories are in you, not the things. Cherish those memories. Yes, photographs can help. You can take a photograph of something before giving it away or selling it. I don't usually do that, but just let those things go, and if they don't add value to your life anymore, and that's fine. Things, you know, something I had 10 years ago that added value to me 10 years ago doesn't necessarily add value to my life now. So it's fine to let those things go. And the great thing I found about it was, even for things that you're really scared of letting go, you realize that once you let go of them, you open room not for other things, but for experiences. So not material things, but other things like experiences. Like you suddenly feel more free, and you think about new things, and you have new perspectives on other stuff you have that are really good. And people give back love. Things don't. Things are things to be used. People are not. So then there's the no just in case stuff, right? This is things like, this is the minimalists have the 20-20 rule. If it's something that you can get in less than 20 minutes or less for $20 or less, give it away. It's occupying, physical, mental space, and you won't even notice. You will notice that it was taking up space, mental space, when it's gone, and sometimes by the form of forgetting it. So this is different from just for when items, like Christmas stuff, for example. You don't want to, just because you only use that once a year, doesn't mean like you want to let go of all of those things. So it's slightly different items, but there's a lot of just in case items we keep that we don't really need. And once you let them go, again, it becomes really, it just feels very freeing. And so lastly, review and reduce. The idea is, you now and then, I look for new places to reduce things, because I felt the benefits of reducing in many areas, many times. And so things like, for example, my future projects, for example, I've reduced that list. So things I wanted to do in the future, I can only have 3. And if for some reason, which this happens all the time, I remember something like, I really want to do this, like, this is more important, than whatever is on my list. One of the items that's there has to go, and that's fine. I don't have a clutter. I don't have a backlog. There's no clutter there. Just the 3 things I want to work on, and that creates a lot of focus. So another thing that might seem a bit more radical was that I stopped having long-term goals and ambitions. For example, I just focus on the path that I want to be on. I noticed for myself, having goals was making me focus too much on the destination and not on the path or the journey. And so by removing those, which was also really hard, I mean, none of this is easy to do or to accomplish, or to get to a point where you feel like, oh, I got this going, I understand it really well, I see the benefits. Some of these things are hard to do, but once you start doing them, it starts feeling really good. There's obviously some discomfort, but you should embrace the uncomfortable. It's when we usually grow more. And so what I started doing instead was doing things I love frequently, and focusing on that realized it became much more important than a goal I might achieve to try and get to another goal. So I decided to focus on frequently doing things that I love, and things I really want to do, and focus on those things, which became much more important for me, and also allowed me to feel happier about where I am, rather having a goal that I want to reach out to or something like that. So what are the benefits of minimalism? A more focused living. So you're focused on what really matters, your life now, no distractions. You only have the essentials, so it becomes with less physical, mental clutter. Your brain, when you walk into a room, for example, if it has a lot of knickknacks, a lot of stuff, you feel a bit more tired than if you walk into a room with a couple of things. That's because your brain in the background is processing everything that exists there, And so when you have less stuff, you have less to process. And so you have more resources in a way to use for more meaningful things you care about. And you also have to realize that attention is more important than your time. So this really helps with that. In the end, you just become happier. So that's where you are. A couple of places that I usually go to get some more information about this, read some very nice essays. Zen Habits, Liu Boda, I talked about him, and the Minimalist, I also talked about them. I really enjoy the things they write about. I obviously will not agree to everything they say, but they do make you, or at least they make me think, and hopefully they will make you think as well. And so I hope you like this presentation. I tried to make it short and to the point, and if it helped you in some way, feel free to share. If not, let me know. Thank you.